All right, this is some dude named Mike. He fucks around with trucks and has fun and stuff. Oh, shit, there we already went. Oh, no, 2 in a row.
What is it you do, sir?
Yeah. No,
What do you do for a living?
I sell truck parts.
Yeah, like the guy the other day, I did one, and he goes, so to start off, who are you? Like, brother, that's a really deep question to start with, man. This could go like, who am I philosophically, spiritually?
Well, it started in my mother's womb.
Yeah, right, right. I found my way out. Started building.
My dad had
parts.
been drinking one night.
Hence, 9 months later comes Mike. No, I think it's cool. Like, for one, thanks for coming over and doing this with
Absolutely.
us. I know how busy you are during the days and stuff, working out and
I went to the gym early for you guys today.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You take the R8 out there?
That thing's broken down.
Really?
It was doing some weird oil sensor shit, and it was a Motec failure. It kept telling me the oil was low when it wasn't.
So it's all Motec. Like the car's still nothing broke on it. It's just
No, it was like some weird pin. So I sent it to Colorado. They follow Motec instructions, and some pin wasn't responding the way it was supposed to. So then the Motec goes all the way back to Australia, and
Yeah.
That's still the fastest car I've ever been in.
those fucking Motecs, $15,000
Yeah. Sure.
just for the slave and the primary.
Sure.
I mean, you literally get a harness and 2 boxes.
Yeah.
They're killing it. But yeah, so when I couldn't figure it out, and I'd rather spend $1,500 on the transport to send the thing back. There's nowhere around here it's going to.
Yeah. So that where was it? That was built in Texas. It was right.
Colorado.
Colorado. That's right.
Yeah.
What is this, Boost Logic?
Boost Logic, everything on it is Boost Logic, but the shop is called Auto Trends.
Okay.
That's right.
They used to do diesel stuff, and then the dude stumbled into a bunch of money, and then all of a sudden he had dope exotics. And
Let's build really fast shit.
yeah, and then I saw how his car looked under the glass, and I'm like, when I can afford it, I want one that looks like that too.
Yeah.
He had a Lambo, and just the way the V10s lay out with the intake manifold straight into the intercooler, and they're just eye candy under there.
The problem with those cars is they're so fast that like if something happens, it's bad. There's no like fender bender happening with that.
No, that's why Cage was like right off the roll bar was right off the.
I was telling the guy next door at 412 Motorsport about the ride that I got in your car and all that. And he showed me a video that day. He's like, this just happened. It was a twin turbo Huracan. They were on the freeway and the car hit something on the freeway. And the dudes were outside of the car. Fuck. And one of the guys had his legs off.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, that's some scary
Yeah, they
shit.
didn't have a bar, and they didn't have harnesses.
It's still one of my favorite. I swear I can think of you and I together in that damn car. One of the funniest things I've ever watched back in one of our videos. Because at the time I didn't know you that well, dude. I mean, I still don't know you that well, but you know what I mean. We're becoming friends.
Yeah.
But at that time, we were kind of starting to get to know each other, and I told you, like, yeah, these things scare the shit out of me. I'll make one pass with you.
You were scared.
Terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified. Breathing like I'm having a baby.
Yeah.
You know,
But
or
you built
making
all
a
that
baby
up.
and having a baby.
I mean, it was a buildup for you.
Hey, call it what you want, dude. Those G-forces are serious business. But my favorite part of that video is Mike doesn't know me that well yet, so he's like this, super straight face, and then all of a sudden you just start cracking up. Like
Evil laugh,
he knows
too.
it, super evil laugh, because now he knows, like, I'm okay. I'm not gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah, we were already
so
on
now
the
you can
brakes.
fucking laugh at me.
We were on the brakes. I didn't. You told me you had PTSD, and it was definitely a thing. But dude, we were running that thing at 1850 wheel. It was like
No big deal.
It's so. So you've got.
I mean, even
That's
that doesn't
a lot.
hook. Even that doesn't hook. But
No,
When
there
I-
was like that slight wiggle to it. Not much though.
no, the
Not
traction
much.
control's good on it. But when I got that car first done, it made 1,300 on gate, and then every level was
What
100
does that
horse
mean
higher.
on gate.
on dome, like we ran the car on dome with you guys, that's the least amount of power you can make because
what's
the
on
wastegate has springs in it, which will allow it to make X amount of boost. That was the minimum amount. So the wastegates aren't even opening.
Oh.
Does that make sense? Like that's it's right where the gate opens. So like the range is,
Crazy.
so you got wastegate controllers. So it's just controlling the boost. That's what the wastegates do. That was the minimum amount of boost that car will make.
Wow.
With that setup, with that amount of fuel. You get a range. So like when I first got the car on wastegate, it made like 1,300. And then like every Motec have 9 levels to change the power.
Yeah.
So it was like 1,300, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And the car had made 19, whatever. That was stock motor. That's what the car made. So when I got it, I got kids. I'm not about to be like, yeah, dude, it's on. Let's let it eat right off the rip.
Yeah.
No, I was like, okay, I'll go drive it in 13. I know what that feels like basically already.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, this thing hooks, it handles great. Drove it a couple days and then just worked my way up. I mean, within like 3 days, I was at like 1,700 setting. Seriously. That's what I felt comfortable
I'm just
with.
laughing, dude, because it's completely psychotic to me. It legitimately, I'm not giving you shit. Just for me personally, that level of acceleration is beyond description.
It is, and I remember doing that in 750, 800 horse Porsches and people shitting their pants.
For sure.
So I've lost.
Porsche horsepower is different. 800 Porsche.
LOL.
LOL what?
I've had an 1,100 horse Porsche.
Yeah, that feels like 1,500.
No.
Like a 700 horsepower
Tell
Porsche.
yourself whatever you need to tell yourself.
All right. I guess I don't have Porsche, so I can't talk.
Yeah, I have 3.
Shit.
I'm just saying,
My
like,
bad,
I had
bro.
an 1,100
Flexing on
horse.
us. I got the
I'm not, I'm
Casio
just saying
on. I got a
because-
fucking Casio. You got the
Yeah, but
Rolex with the diamonds.
But
and-
you're a hipster. It's fucking, and I would never put diamonds on my Rolex.
Is there not diamond? Oh,
Hell
okay.
no,
that
dude.
shit's just shiny as fuck.
Devalues these things. It's a Yachtmaster. This thing will gain value.
The Slang guys, you know the S Club? You seen those crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, they when you go over there, they got diamonds on the chain, diamonds on the Rolex. They're fucking
They
crazy.
are
I don't
not
think
me. And you'd never catch me dead in Mercedes either. So,
Okay, so you
but the
just-
cars look cool.
You're not Armenian then.
They do cool.
They're BMW people.
And Mercedes.
I found out at a car show that it was BMWs was one of their things, I
Yeah,
guess.
for
I was
sure,
like,
bro.
oh, every single one of the BMW owners was Armenian.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
You know what I have, right? E46 M3.
That's what he started out in. Why? Because he's half Armenian.
the E46, I think is the one I like. Does it have the badges on the side with the slot?
Yep.
Yeah, the
I
slit.
love. My brother
Yeah.
had one. I love
It's the
that
most
car.
timeless
What
M3.
year set are those?
2000 to 2006.
Yeah, my brother had one. It was so sick.
Yeah, I have Laguna Seca.
Great
Blue.
car.
I remember thinking how fast it was. I didn't know it.
Yeah.
How fast it was.
Well, back then.
He tracked it.
Yeah.
He drove it on a track, but
We just
Yeah.
shot one. The guy put
I would buy one.
they're sick cars.
I would do one of
Rogan
those.
has one. Rogan has one with the like silver.
Didn't you just shoot one with a V10 in it?
V10,
We
yeah,
did.
from the M5.
That thing's sick.
Yeah.
Slick car.
That thing's
Well,
sick.
that kid did such a great job on that car. All the body with the widening
that's
and
a cool
stuff, but
car.
keeping it looking OE. He did a fantastic
That's one of the
job.
few cars of any. I mean, there's cars, but there's not that many that stand the test of time, and it's already made it through.
Yep.
Like that body's
Hundred
Keeps
top.
percent.
looking better too.
It's a great looking car.
100%.
It just sucks when you get inside them and you're like, fuck. It's just old. I mean,
Oh,
Not really.
not that it's a bad
as far
design.
as
it's
the
just,
interior,
yeah, it's fucking old.
it's dated, sure,
it's
of
just
course.
dated.
Yeah.
Well, this
I
kid
agree.
put a whole new gauge system in his. It looks like it's out of a
You
brand
tell
new
yourself
M3.
whatever you need. It is what it is.
This
It's-
guy, bro. I thought we were gonna have
This
a
is why
nice
he came
civil
over.
conversation.
You know why he came
today.
over? He didn't come over to do the podcast. He needed somebody to take out his aggressions on, and you're the one that's going
This
to
fucking
get
guy.
it.
I
No, like
texted him the
I-
other day. I'm like, "Are you coming on Thursday?" And he was like, "Damn, Skippy." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So
No, I didn't call you Skippy. I meant damn Skippy.
what does that mean?
Oh, dude, tell him, dude. It means yes.
It's just
I didn't call you
Here,
Skippy.
I thought you were calling
let me
me
help you
Skippy.
out.
No, you say
let me
damn
help you out. Here, I'll translate for you.
Okay,
Damn Skippy. Bet.
gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
bad.
you.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Just
No
gotta
cap.
put it in his
cap.
language.
I apologize. Yeah, I didn't
No, it's
call
okay.
you
You
Skippy.
want to go down this route? We're gonna go down that route.
I didn't call you Skippy.
You guys want to play that? We're gonna play that.
It was I thought it was so funny the other day at the because I told you I'm back to working out now, right?
And
I
we're going
shouldn't
today,
do that
bro.
because it's really bad.
Did he tell you how long his carnivore diet lasted?
A month.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Honorable.
Yeah. I ain't gonna do the carnivore diet.
And I didn't drink.
But I thought it was funny. He was
That
shooting
is
the shit
impressive.
with a kid at the gym for a quick second, and I think within 30 seconds, 40 seconds, you guys both said bet to each other.
I
Probably.
didn't say bet. I
Oh,
didn't say
he's
bet.
the one that
Yeah,
kept saying
he's like,
it,
oh,
yeah.
I like your tattoos.
Oh
Where'd you
yeah,
get 'em?"
bet. Where'd you get the? Oh yeah, bet.
Yeah.
Like who's placing bets? Where's the bet going? I want to know.
Did you guys at least get each other's Instagram and stuff?
No, bro.
Oh.
Come on, man. But I will
they
tell
just
you
did
this.
that thing where you bump phones.
So I started bringing Josh to the gym first before Sean, and this one guy comes up to me. I see him there all the time, and he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, I know you." I'm like, "No, you don't. From where?" And he's like, "Oh, I see you on Autotopia."
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, sick. Okay, cool." He's like, "Yeah, I actually came over to the shop, met Sean once. He did like a giveaway and gave me a hat." And so I told Sean, I'm like, "I'm warning you. We're gonna go to the gym and you're gonna see this guy." And sure enough, every single time we've gone, Pretty Bird is in there, and I'm sure he'll watch this podcast and he'll know. Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yo, Pretty Bird, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
After I did your first one with the Raptor, I got a few people at the gym. I was like, oh, you're car people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 or 3
Yeah.
people.
That's how
And
you
then-
know they're car guys because they
Yeah.
know you because they've seen you in
Yeah.
obviously
And
a car video.
No chicks.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
only guys that come up to me.
Yeah, we're like 98 point something percent men on our audience. That's
And then 1 point something percent lesbian.
yeah, or they don't want to admit to it yet. You know,
Shockingly, there's a pretty good chunk of women in the car scene.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of these girls, there are some legit car girls for sure. And
It's
then
just-
there's other ones that are like, look at me wrench on my car. And like, they got the tits out and the whole thing. And it's like,
Yeah.
you're not really into cars like that, you know?
I was watching this Whistling Diesel episode. You ever seen that guy?
Yeah.
I've
He's
inadvertently sent him diesel parts over the years.
Oh, okay.
Not direct. I don't even know him, but I've helped in builds that he's had when he used to care. He didn't care about diesels anymore. But I was watching this video with him the other day, and they were destroying Sweet James's Rolls Royce.
Oh, and that chick was in it, right?
Dude,
Jelly Bean
I didn't know
Brains?
who
Yeah.
she was.
Sweet James, like the attorney.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God, really?
Yeah, yeah. Sweet James is dropping coin. The guy's got 9 million followers. Whistling Diesel has 9 million YouTube followers. So
Wow.
Sweet James is paying up. But they had this chick on there, and her whole Instagram gig is like
Yeah.
throwing wrenches and crowbars. Like
She's
beating
the girl
shit
you've
out
seen
of
her. She like
cars.
runs up on her Lambo, jumps on the windshield and cracks it. And they do it all for her boyfriend.
I don't think I've seen any of that,
Dude, I have never seen it until then. Thank God my
Don't pull up
algorithm.
Jelly Bean Brains, bro. We're not doing that.
I just thought it was funny because she's not a car person.
No.
But that's her thing.
Yeah.
She just beats
She
the
got
shit out
hella
of
money,
cars.
bro. Hella money.
We've met some funny ones though. I got to admit, girls through social media because they're usually a bit. I don't know how do you say it. Fucking crazy. Like
Yeah.
typically through like if you're meeting a girl through social media, especially car related. Or I don't know. Maybe it's just my experience. I'll just shut up about this.
Yeah,
one.
let's go ahead and move on from that.
Well, I mean, I remember I started in the diesel scene back in 03, and I remember just anything involved, any girl that was around, she was missing a few screws for sure.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing
Couple
here?
of fries short of a Happy Meal.
Yeah, sandwich short of a
You like that one?
That was good.
Yeah.
See, that's what he's here for. He's
Yeah.
the comic relief because I'm
color commentating.
Yeah, I'm definitely not the funny
But
one.
no,
of the
I
bunch.
just, any of the girls that were ever like around,
Yeah.
there's something wrong.
Yeah. So for the people watching that didn't see any of the videos we've done before, because we've talked enough, dude. Like I take inspiration from people that have created successful businesses, which you have. And I always think there might be somebody watching that maybe it's a nudge that needs to happen. Maybe it's relating to somebody that they see and somehow it clicks and they go, man, I'm done talking about this idea. I've had this idea. Now I'm going to actually go for it. So why don't you give, we don't have to spend an hour on it, but give the story that I already know about how you started your company, how much money you started with and where it's grown to at this point. Because who knows, maybe it helps to inspire some kid out there that's thinking about something.
Yeah, I can paraphrase it pretty easily. And I've had a lot of failure and sadness attached to it. I worked on that show Jackass that everybody knows, and I left a very good job to open a skateboard shop in Moore Park.
You worked Jackass? The
Yeah.
Steve-O?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I shot the pilot, and then when the show got picked up, I shot somebody in the edit department got hurt a few shows into the first season, and they're like, hey, because when you shoot a pilot, it doesn't get picked up immediately. It had huge ratings, but it still takes time.
Yeah.
So you don't go in, shoot a pilot, and go, okay, we got a 6-show or 8-show package ready to rock.
What
right?
were you doing, shooting or directing?
No,
or?
no, hell no. I was putting porta potties together.
Oh.
I was a PA.
Oh.
I was like 21.
Oh, shit.
I had worked at MTV my friend worked at the MTV Beach House as an intern. I sold weed to people there.
Oh.
Then they wanted me there. I didn't even have to work. I just got basically a summer job for like a month, something along those lines. And then I lived in Mammoth snowboarding. Long story short, they hit me up for a full-time job because the producer smoked a lot of weed. So I took a full-time job on a VH1 show where I first met Rogan. It was some show that we had a bunch of different hosts on, and for 1 week, Rogan was a host. Long story short, get down the road. I'm freelance, and something comes up where a guy goes, hey, you skateboard, you're into all this shit. We're doing this stuff with the CKY and the Big Brother magazine guys, and I knew exactly who all of them were. So he says, if you're free, call times this, and we're going to shoot a pilot. So I go in. It's mostly people I know, and I know who Knoxville is. I know who Pawnee is. I know who all of them are just from skateboard stuff. We shoot this thing. We got to turn a porta potty upside down. So I'm a PA. I do whatever I'm told. Like, it could be anything. So I drove to Sunland, picked up a brand new Andy Gump thing, and we put mics and sound box and cameras in it and made it so it could go upside down in a trash truck. Long story short, it was a cream job, and they were just getting, there were so much lawsuits around it. They were just getting ready to leave TV and go to film because you could do whatever you want on an NC-17.
Yeah.
You could light someone on fire and you don't get sued for it because the show was getting sued a lot. Some kid would light his pants on fire, and seriously, there was like there was like a congressional hearing, if I remember, Senator or Congressman Joe Lieberman. I don't know if you remember him. He was from New Jersey or something.
Mike, do you need some water?
No.
Oh, okay.
But had a whole thing out.
I feel like you're dying over here every time.
Sorry. I'm trying not to.
Did you see him inhale the sandwich before we got started?
No, but for the people
That was my
listening,
lunch. I had to
it
get that thing out of
like
the way.
you're about to cry.
Anyway.
This whole time I thought he was in pain.
Yeah, he sounds like he's struggling over there. I need to help my daddy.
I was trying not to cough. I don't want to cough on the mic. Anyway, so we get through this shoot. I get picked up. The show's going great. We have.
You can go like this. I do it all the time.
Jesus.
It doesn't
we're
really
good.
help much.
All right.
So we get through. They're about to go to film, and I get this big idea that I'm going to open a skateboard shop. Stuff is booming at the time, and that was really what I like to do. Where I lived didn't have one. I had a partner that was going to do it with me. It was all going to work, and they helped me. Like, as it was coming along, once the store opened, they were wearing my shirts in some of the scenes, and
That's huge.
it didn't end up being because that's national, and it doesn't help a local.
Got
you know
it.
what I'm saying? It's
Right.
awesome.
And there's no e-commerce yet, so it's not really.
I had none of that.
Yep.
But Wee Man came out and helped us, and there was a lot of. They helped me a lot.
That's
so
cool.
I go into the skateboard thing. I had a mini ramp in my shop. It was legit because I loved it.
Yeah.
I saw a video you posted on your story of you skateboarding back in the day, and I was like, look at this guy ripping over here.
So, long story short, we've grown for 6 or 7 years, and then the market's getting flooded, and then the recession happens. So it sucks, and I get to the point where my partner has left. I was a majority, but my partner has left. I got a small trust from my parents, and I bought a house and spent the rest on that. CPA goes, you've been losing money and you own your inventory. And I can tell you right now, based on the forecast, if it was me, I would do a going out of business sale, break your lease, pay to do it, 15 grand or something like that, but do it. It's a tough pill to swallow.
How long had you had the shop
9
for?
years.
9 years, and now you have to close it down.
Yeah, it was, you know, when that credit crunch happened with the recession, my direct impact was the soccer moms who would come in all the time to buy their kid any pair of shoes they want. They were gone. Yep. And in the skateboard market, there's no money in the actual skateboard hard goods. The wheels, the trucks, the bearings.
Use them
All that
forever.
money is, you just assume that the kid that's buying his board there is buying his shoes there. So I had focused for years on having the best shoe wall and really making that, because I love shoes, making that bang. And it was a very, very tough to fail.
Yeah.
I'd never really owned anything of substantial, and I'd certainly never failed. That was a rough one.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting a job servicing water filters.
Wow.
$20 an hour. But during that time when it was really slow, I had started a web forum that was for diesel trucks, because the ones that were on there that existed were heavily moderated, and you wouldn't know, but back in the day, forums was how we all talked.
Totally.
Like,
I know about Forum.
okay, I know, but it was a much bigger part of.
He's not talking about the forum down by LA
I
where
know.
you go see concerts.
So
not-
they still exist. They're still there, and I kind of dabble in them a little bit, but in the early 2000s, they were everything.
Yeah.
There was no Facebook,
Instagram
and there was
shit
no
like-
Facebook.
Yeah.
So the forums were everything.
Yeah.
And there was a forum where I was like, dude, if you talked any shit, they would like put
Flag.
you on timeout.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Moderated.
Yep.
And I just wanted to make more of an anarchist version, and the timing was right. I mean, literally, I wiped some. They had like 100,000 members or something like that. I wiped them out.
Wow.
We had 40,000 members in like the first month.
wow, crazy.
Because it was organic, and it was built out of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
The same
this
way
is all
everything.
around diesel.
Yeah. I was really into, dude, blowing black smoke. It was so
Which you don't do anymore.
Which I do. I minimize substantially. So I was just really into, I thought it was so cool. And so when my shop went out of business, I had been doing this on the side just because I was slow. I mean, there were hours on, in the early day when it was really slow that I wouldn't have any customers walk in. And so it was a very good income, actually. Just sold ad space.
Yeah.
But I didn't physically have to do anything other than upload a GIF, a flashing banner or something. I didn't have to service them. All I had to do is run payments once a month. So there was nothing to do.
Yeah.
So it's very depressing to sit. I can't sit.
Yeah, you don't seem like the kind of guy that sits
Dude,
around
I sat
well.
for like a month thinking it was golden until I realized like I was playing golf, waking up whenever I wanted. I didn't have kids, and I thought it was golden for a month or so. And then I realized that all my friends had jobs. So like during a normal weekday, I'm alone.
There's no one to hang out with.
No.
You're the unemployed friend on a
No,
Tuesday.
so then I'm playing golf by myself a lot.
Yeah.
And luckily I surrounded myself with employed folks, and I had no one to hang out with. So became very depressing. Not like I was in a depressed state, but it's very depressing to be bored.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine had this water filtration business, and I said, hey man, like, I know this might sound crazy, but if you're hiring, I need a job. He said, actually, I am. I know nothing about it, but they service like the biggest homes in this area, like the big of the big.
Yeah.
And because those are the people that can afford the high-end water filtration in their homes. This is $2,500 a month just to change filters. You know what I mean? Wow. These are people who have $10,000 a month HOAs.
Right.
And he didn't hire me, I don't think, because I was certainly not very mechanical, but I could talk. And he needed someone because you are dealing with these property managers and personal handlers like we did Denzel and Eddie Murphy and Stallone. And there's a delicacy to it. You don't send,
sure.
You don't send some animals in there, and
for sure.
And a lot of people that can do that work are more animalistic. You know?
Yeah.
So I was kind of like that. That's what he wanted me for, and that's
So
what
you're
he
the
sent me
guy
to do.
interfacing with the
100%.
Yeah.
They chose you for that?
100%.
I could see.
Probably-
Couldn't you see him though dialing?
Dude, if there's
it?
money involved, you bet your sweet ass I will polish. You could see a different person from day to day.
Yeah.
Just show me money. Yeah. But that's what I did, and I continued to run my website, and then I sold it to a company in Canada. They were like 2010, I think. That stuff was really hot. Like there was a company called Internet Brands, and there was a company called Vertical Scope, and they were buying everybody. And they had been pestering me, and I wouldn't. Thank God I went a year or two of saying no.
Yeah.
Because they got to a point where it's like, name your price. And it was a legitimate amount. It was a life-changing amount of money.
How much?
I'm not telling you, but it was
I love it. Good, perfect answer, brother.
a lot. Enough. It was a life-changing amount of money. And certainly at that time, I could pay off my house.
How long did it take to build it from the time you had this started the site to when you sold it?
Like 3.5 years.
Wow. 3.5 years to make
Yeah.
life-changing money.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, it wouldn't take you through life, but it was a life-changing amount.
No, I get it. It's enough for you to set
Big
you up
time.
for what you're going to do
I could,
next.
I could pay off my house, and I bought another one. You know what I mean? I literally ended up with 2 homes after this, and I ended up with a lot of the stuff I wanted and needed.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome. And it had been generating really good revenue because those ads, you do nothing, and these people are paying a few grand a year, and you've got 100 people doing it. You know what I mean? It's not cheap. I think it was like $1,800 a pop, and I had over 100 people doing it. I was making almost 200 G's a year doing absolutely nothing.
Just dropping in a
Nothing.
banner.
It's
and these are all banner
browse
ads.
it. Yeah, they create it. They email it to me, and I drag and click.
Wow.
So then I did that, and I didn't have any need for money, but I was messing with a certain type of power stroke that needed all kinds of stuff, and nobody was doing what I liked. And somebody had built a kit for something, a complete big turbo kit. I just liked the intake part, and I said, hey, if you don't mind, where do you get this stuff? He was a friend. Where do you get this stuff made? I don't want to copy your kit by any means. I just want to take the intake part and make it for just the bone stock trucks.
Yeah.
Just a cold air intake option. The 6.4 Power Stroke had a issue where as soon as you tuned it and it made 45 PSI of boost, it sucked in that little filter minder, you know, the thing that tells you your filter's dirty. It sucked in and immediately you got to check engine light and the truck went into limp.
Wow.
So even the people who had the intakes, like S&B filters had an intake, they didn't do any of their homework on a tuned truck. You put that intake on and you still got it.
Still have the same issue.
Yeah, you probably still do with them. But it started with that. And then it started with another piece that, you know, I was making 10 at a time.
Yeah.
I was polishing this stuff when I got home from work at
You're
6
hand polishing it yourself
100% in my garage.
after working.
Yeah.
Well, not really. Oh no, this is when
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
filtration, so you're actually
Yeah,
having to
and
work.
the boss, the guy that hired me was really cool, really supportive, really instrumental in where I ended up because
Yeah.
when this stuff, it was like, I made this part and it was made out of enthusiasm, necessity, and I'm a cosmetic. It's got to be dope. It's got to
Right.
look dope. And I figured out basically how to do all that. So as soon on my forum, people are like, if you made that, I would buy it too. That's kind of how it went.
So you went, oh, maybe I'm on to something
So
here.
I made 10, and they were gone before I was even done assembling them. You know what I mean? And that's the whole point of everything is that when you love something, it's a lot easier to be successful when you're really into it.
Yeah.
The true enthusiast of something, and it doesn't matter what
Yeah.
that industry or hobby is or what have you,
Yeah.
those are the people that I see succeed. They really love what they do.
Yeah.
Lance from Thrashing was saying that yesterday. He's like,
Yep.
you know, if you're going to do something and you're going to have fun with it, you kind of don't really care about the money. It kind of comes on its own.
It comes on its own because it's organic.
Yeah, you
It's not
enjoy doing it.
forced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then it was like, what else can I build under here? And then talking to my boss, being like, hey man, like, you mind if I cut at 3:30 every day? I'm not going to leave, but at 3:30 every day, I'm going to package and then drop this stuff off at UPS at 5 or, wherever.
And he's totally cool with it.
Yeah. I started a half hour early and he was just super cool about it.
That's great.
And he was an inspiration in that way that it's not often you allow someone to
Start a business while they're working for you? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you don't love that.
For sure.
If I was him, I wouldn't have loved that idea.
Yeah. Like
So-
Kyle works with me and there's no fucking way he's starting a business. It's just
Hell
not
no,
going to
you
happen.
tell me and I will sabotage it at every fucking turn.
We'll both start a forum against him.
By the way, your headphones are on the wrong way.
Oh man. Now you just threw it all out of whack.
So
You guys want to play that game? We'll play that game.
So all that stuff just started taking off, and I am an entrepreneur by nature.
Yeah, you are.
I really
You
am, and I have
definitely
my father is an engineer and a salesman, and it's very rare that you have both. And he was incredibly successful,
Yeah.
very successful, and he never gave me anything, thank God, and
Yep.
instilled the sales side of things into me.
Yeah.
And I know what it flies to first class. I know what it's like to fly first class. When you get those little tastes of it, you know what's out there.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
So they didn't give me anything, but I knew what was out there by being around it. He had yachts and lives on an island in Mexico, but if I was going to get
I didn't
20
know
bucks,
that, man.
if I was going to get 20 bucks, I was going to do it washing a car.
Yeah.
Like even when I was 16, like if I wanted to go to the movies with my friends,
Yeah.
I would be doing some chore at that moment if I was asking for that
That's
money.
so cool, man. That's it. I have a handful of friends that are check of the month club kids. No motivation whatsoever. They accomplish close to nothing. Usually just they accomplish getting out of bed at some point and then getting back in bed, and what happens in between is usually irrelevant. I mean, sorry to say, but
I had
it's
a
the truth.
few, so like in high school, when everybody knows your parents are rich, my parents had just started banging like good money back
Yeah.
then. And my mom drove a Mercedes and then a Rolls Royce. And like, it was popping for them.
Yeah.
And I lived in Moore Park. You
Yeah.
can't not miss some lady going to Target or Kmart in a Rolls Royce. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
there was a lot of like expectations on me. So when I got a 1986 Isuzu Pup, people are like, dude, that's so lame. But there were other kids with money at school, like old money people who had dope cars. And,
Sure.
And the people I still know from them, they're kind of assholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not people that I really want to be around.
Yeah. It's that's got to be a tough one, man. 'Cause as a parent to have money where you could make it easier on your kids and it'd be easier for them to do it, but they're trying to instill work ethic in you. And
It takes any sense of entitlement. Well, I wasn't raised with money, so they generally made it as I got older.
yeah,
I remember like I got 2 pairs of shorts and 2 T-shirts for back to school up until probably 8th or 9th grade. They
Yeah.
were just on a budget. My dad did okay, but he was just
Sure.
progressing. And my point is that I just got to watch this, so I'm an entrepreneur by nature as well. So
Yeah.
while this dude was letting me do the part stuff, I got the bright idea to make all the apparel, at least T-shirts and hoodies, for all the people buying ad space on my website. So I just offered it. And I was making 300, 400, 500 shirts a day. So I bought a press. I bought a place that closed down. My boss had this space.
So you're printing the shit yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, on weekends. And then I had people coming in while I was gone and teaching kids how to push ink. And I just rented a spot in his shop because he had space.
Yeah.
And I'm doing that. I'm making parts. And then by the time I got to making legit money, it was costing me more to miss a phone call working for this guy
Right.
than it was worth.
So you're working all along building your company. You get it to the point where your company's starting to,
It was.
like you
It was
just said,
already.
you're
It was
losing
already
money
It was
if-
already ready to pop. And when you're
Yeah.
working at big homes in Beverly Park, right up here on the other side of Mulholland,
Sure, man.
there's no service
yeah,
unless you're on their Wi-Fi. You're not.
for sure.
So I would miss calls. I would come out of the canyon, and the guy would be like, I call him back and be like, "Oh, I already called so and so. I got it handled." That could have been $1,500 in pure profit
Yeah.
from one phone call.
Yep.
A few of those later, and I told dude, and I had reservations because I've had a business fail. So it's, now I have a daughter. She's like 1 or 2. Okay, now I'm going to go get a lease. Now I'm going to go out on my own again. It's a totally different animal
For sure.
than before.
Yeah, when it's you by yourself, that's one thing,
So I
right?
was very, very timid
Yeah,
and way more conservative this time.
yeah,
And every move I made was delayed and slowed by that caution.
yeah.
Like I could have probably done better faster without that, but I'll never probably for the rest of my life ever not have that caution.
Yeah.
It's scary once you really, and it's so healthy. And I thank God every day that skate shop failed.
Yeah, totally. I hear you.
I make more in a month than I did in a year there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, realistic.
No, dude, I hear you. I've said it to so many people that know me well enough to know how many years I spent in the music business. And the worst year of my life was admitting that I failed and I was unwilling to keep moving forward in that space. But I apply on a daily basis. I apply the failure to my existing status in life, and I pay taxes every single year. The checks I write for taxes are more than I ever made in 1 year of music, including the years that I got record deals and advances and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
It's literally, I remember the first year was about 6 years ago where I went, this is more money than I ever made in my life in 1 year. And I'm writing it. Well,
It's just
now
it's
finding
just a
out to send
35,
condoms to
40%.
fucking Gaza, you know, but
What
but,
about I think they were also paying for teaching them how to do circumcisions as well.
yes, there's
Wait, how did we get here?
multi-millions
What's
of
going on?
dollars on that one.
That's wonderful.
There's,
Just since you brought it up, the circumcisions one was pretty good.
I got to say, my favorite one so far of these are the Doge expenditures that they're ripping apart.
yeah,
you
we
know,
were paying
going,
$50 million to teach somebody like Botswana people how to do circumcisions.
How did we get on this topic?
well, you know, it's just
Well, if it's
just,
circumcision, it's because you're sitting there.
I am circumcised.
that's a good thing.
Thank God.
My favorite one of these expenditures, though, I can't remember the dollar amount, 20, 30 million bucks, whatever it is, to assist Afghanistan in cultivating crops.
Heroin.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, they produce one crop, poppies.
And we've been protecting those for years.
Yes.
For I think it's almost 20 years.
Yes.
But anyways, aside from the Doge stuff, you got to pay
Yeah, and it's
a
this,
good amount of taxes where you went,
it's this,
whoa.
ultimately it's the same thing that you were saying. I mean, I'm not, you know, obviously we've talked about it, dude. I'm not making nowhere near the kind of money you do, but it's the so many people are so afraid to fail that they oftentimes don't risk it. I think when you're going through it, it's certainly the first time around, you don't necessarily know that you're risking anything because you've never had a big enough fail where it's life-changing. That
did not.
life-changing failure is the greatest fucking thing you could ever have. Like, go fall on your face hard enough that if you're strong enough to pick yourself back up and move forward, you move forward with a completely different mindset.
100%.
I think it's crucial.
And like you, it's ingrained.
100%.
I know what it's like. And not even the money part, what it feels like.
Yes. Like you feel like a loser. It's brutal. It's fucking brutal.
Failure it's healthy
Yeah.
and it's good.
Yeah.
But when it happens, it's not so
I
fun.
can literally tell you that I can't tell you the day, but I remember it was August of 2011 when we called it quits, done with music. And I remember a month or so later, I was like, I'm such a loser. I'm such a loser. And then one day I sat down and I Googled failure and just started reading. You know, and you read the great stories like Steve Jobs. Okay, cool. I know how that turned out.
It's just a Chevy bow tie symbol.
Yeah, I mean, dude, but it's pretty crazy when you start reading the fail stories and realizing like, okay, this is part of success. Is you got to, unfortunately, you're going to fall on your face, man. There's no safety net for it, but I think it's part of what drives some of us too is the idea that, you know, if you have a safety net, dude, you're not really risking anything, and then the fuck are you doing with your life, man? You know, I mean, and I'm not knocking people that avert risk, but I don't know.
I think it's just personal preference and it's the type of person. I think it's definitely attached to a type A.
Yeah.
You know, a type A mentality where you're going to go get it,
Yeah.
get after it, and you're competitive.
Yeah.
That's your blood type, right?
Yeah.
Rocky Road. My blood type is Rocky Road. No, I think once that's ingrained, because like you said, when I opened my shop, I was reckless.
Yeah.
I was like not even thinking about budgets and it went well.
With the skate shop.
Yeah. When I opened my
Yeah.
skate shop, it went well. 6 or 7 years, I was able to freewheel.
Yeah.
The entire time I was growing Kush and selling it. The entire time. I don't even know if that shop ever even really made money. My garage was a grow room.
I didn't know that about you, man.
Yeah, I've always lived on the edge. I mean, I used to drive 20 pounds of weed from Mendo down here.
Wow.
And then back in the day, you don't really understand, like, where do you put all that? Because they're hockey bag. 10 pounds is a hockey bag full.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You
there's
got
so
a
many
lot.
things that people
and
don't
I don't care
understand.
how you wrap it. It smells.
Yeah, when we did it, it would be like either I was driving or someone else was driving it. It's always a 2-car.
Yeah.
And if a cop, that just keeps a cop from getting directly behind all the way from Santa Cruz to here.
Crazy, man.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's just who I am. But when you fail and you get that ingrained stuff, like the craziest part was I thought because Jackass was doing so well, when I closed my shop, I'd be able to get a job back. Not once they went SAG. They were very, very selective of who they brought back.
Did you contact them to see
hell
if
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a friend, one of my best friends is still, I mean, that's not a thing anymore, but
Yeah.
Dick House still is, and Jeff Tremaine, the producer, is still doing lots of stuff. They just did
Yeah.
a WWE documentary, and I hit him up, and he was like, you could try so-and-so, but it's not really like it was. And what no one, I think, had the guts to say to me was like, you had your shot here.
Right.
And you've used your ticket.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's
kind of
10
how that industry works.
It's 10 years
It is.
later.
Yeah.
I gave up a Kush, but then again, thank God. Thank God they didn't take me back.
Totally.
I would have been on the road.
Totally.
Like all those shoots, nothing's here.
Yeah.
They don't shoot here at all.
And you sure probably most likely wouldn't own a 2,500 horsepower R8 or the crazy Raptor or the Raptor.
No,
you got some cool shit, dude. You've
I'd be helping other people get those.
yeah.
I'd be helping the people
Yeah.
at Paramount
Yeah.
get those because
Yeah.
Paramount. It's just the harsh realities. That was also depressing. I was like, dude, wait. I did all these years with you guys. We did all this stuff together.
thought
It
we're
was
pals.
like I left on great terms. We're still friends, but dude, without telling me, I had used my ticket.
Yeah.
And that was that.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
I wasn't getting back into by that time, I think the MTV Santa Monica office was virtually nothing. All that stuff was shrinking
Sure.
drastically.
I'll bet.
The TV side of stuff was all movies, and I don't think anything was happening here. So like that window passed by.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
equally upsetting. Like, dude, I thought for sure I had a fallback here, and I did
Yeah.
not have a fallback.
Yeah.
But again, everything happens for a reason, and I really genuinely love torque.
Yeah. Obviously.
What was the first cool car you bought when you got money?
A guy named Jason Ellis, I don't know if you know who he is. He was a pro skateboarder back in the day. He had a big Sirius XM show. I believe it's the biggest Sirius XM talk show on the West.
Wow, crazy.
Howard was the East, he was the West.
Wow.
And I don't know if they're even in the same ballpark. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He was selling a quad that fit my daughter. And I go to his house to get it in Hollywood Hills. And he's got a 2007 Porsche Turbo in the garage. And he's Australian. He's like, yeah, mate. Business manager didn't pay the bills. Something along those lines. I owe a lot in taxes. Everything's got to go.
Oh, no.
And I said, how much? Because I wasn't a Porsche person. I wasn't I was just a Ford diesel truck person at that time.
Yeah.
I wasn't I didn't have like a brand or anything. Yeah. And he goes, I don't know, 50 grand. It had like 30,000 miles on it, which isn't a lot.
No.
So I take a picture of the VIN. I text my operations manager at work and say, tell me what this thing's going for. He says on the bottom end with an auto, which it had. At the time, I thought I wanted an auto, not knowing that the Tiptronic Porsches are fucking
horrible
pieces of
PDK,
shit.
Awesome. PDK, great. Yeah. Prior to that?
Didn't know. Didn't know. So, and resale too. Didn't know.
Yeah, because nobody fucking wants them.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was the hips on that car.
Sure.
The ducks in the thing.
Sexy car, no
fucking
doubt.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't even know which model that was till then because I've never paid attention to them.
Right.
And he goes, mate, 50 G's. My buddy's like, or my guy that works for me is like, cheapest one I can find is 74.
Buy it.
And, this was in 2015, so it was a 7-year-old car or 8-year-old car. I'd said, I'll be back with the cashier's check. And I was like, and it's basically like ripping somebody's heart out when you do that. After the fact, he was really bummed.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really bummed.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize it. I thought, dude, we're bros.
Yeah, yeah.
We were not bros.
I sold a guitar that way one time, and as the guy was taking it out of my apartment, I started tearing up, man. And the guy, I remember this guy played guitar on, I think it was it was either Kimmel's band or Conan, one of them. He was a talk show guitar player. And I totally remember I was like starting to tear up, and he's like, oh man, I just feel horrible buying this from you. He said, I'll tell you what, you got my number. Anytime you want to play the guitar, just call me up. I never called the guy.
If he would have said, anytime you want to buy it back.
Yeah.
I used to work at one of those guys' places.
Really?
Yeah, that did one Conan's band or something like
that. Yeah. But it was that same feeling of like, I wasn't ever planning on selling this guitar. It was a 1960. I know Chris can get this. It was a 69 Butterscotch Telly. And it was a legit one.
Probably 50, 60 grand nowadays, maybe more.
Probably.
And what'd you sell
I think
it
I
for?
got $3,500 at the time for it.
Oh my God.
Paid the rent for the
here
next
you are
month
now.
and a couple of other. It is, dude. It's all these. It's why I brought it up, because I know enough with you. I didn't know. I got to admit, bro. I didn't know about all the Jackass related stuff. You began it with me when I asked you kind of the arc of your business career. You began telling me about the skate shop. I didn't know that there was a life. I mean, obviously there's a life, but I didn't know what your business life was prior to that. So it's pretty.
Yeah, and I was a PA starting with the MTV Beach House in Malibu, and I want to say it was 98.
So you did a ton of production stuff.
The summer of 98. And then basically summer and that was summer of 97. Anyway, summer for a couple of years. And then I literally moved back to Mammoth, and I had just got moved back in because it's seasonal up there.
Yeah.
Not everybody lives there year round.
Right.
Because the slopes are closed.
Yeah.
So I had moved back for my 4th winter there because I snowboarded every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day of the winter, and just sold weed.
That's another one that I keep. Every time you say it, I can't help but giggle a little. I'm trying to fucking picture
and I don't even
you.
smoke it now.
Dude, that's what I'm trying to picture, you selling weed. It's hilarious to me.
They, someone from VH1, I had done a pilot for something, and they hit me up and said, hey, we're building a call sheet for this. Do you want to be on it? Blah, blah, blah. If it gets picked up, it looks like it's going to, we want you. And I was like, sure. I'm moving my stuff out of my U-Haul at the moment. I literally didn't even take everything out. Moved back here, went full time. And I thought that would relatively be a career. I was 20, 21, making $300 a day, flat daily rate.
Yeah.
And that's where they smash you. I thought $300 was sweet.
You're crushing it.
Not
right?
for 18 hours.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't know. But I worked freelance. So I was, other than being on a few shows, I was never really married to a set schedule. And even if you were on a show, there's 2.5 months of shooting and then you're gone anyway.
Sure.
So
Totally.
none of it, you were never like married for any long period of time. Even Jackass, like it was a cycle on, a few months off.
Yeah.
Next one gets picked up for X amount of episodes, and that it just continued.
That must have been a trip. Because I remember watching.
Bro,
I mean, to see the shit that they were doing
the
and
Andy
to watch
Dick
it.
show was right below us. And for a while, Tom Green was next to us. Like, it was a magical time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who Tom Green or Andy Dick are, but they're old school MTV people
That's funny. They're
who had
really
like
funny.
shows.
Yeah.
It was an interesting time.
I'll bet, man.
It was a very,
what a
very
fun time to be there.
Yeah, it was. Dude, at one point in time, I wasn't on the shoot or anything because I just worked in the edit bay, but we kidnapped Brad Pitt in monkey
Oh, I
outfits.
remember this. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, that was heavy
Can you
shit
pull that
back
up?
then.
That's a funny clip.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Well, he's in on it too, obviously. Right?
Yeah,
that
of
was
course.
a whole,
Yeah.
I remember
Because
seeing that. So you were there for that shoot?
No, I wasn't there for
Oh,
that
okay.
shoot. But I took my job there was working in as a post-production assistant.
Oh, he's pulling it up here for us. Right on.
I'm Brad Pitt. I'm gonna get abducted.
Yeah, so they do it in front of the hot dog place.
You
I
never
think
seen
it's
this,
Pink's.
Sean?
No.
Oh my God, watch this.
I think it was at Pink's, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
God, he's a little kid back then, huh?
I thought for some reason we did it in gorilla outfits. We did other stuff.
Brad Pitt
Too
just got
funny,
killed.
man.
So the way those worked was, as soon as so much of it was legal, so much because we were groundbreaking everything. We were testing every legal bound from day one. It didn't. There was no roadmap that existed at the time for any of this, especially on cable TV.
For sure. Yeah.
So all these would immediately go to me, and I would have a list of like, we need this shot on this transferred to beta. So I would take all the tapes, long format, transfer these here, transfer these here. These were going to standards and practices, legal in New York, legal in Santa Monica.
But you guys got to find out, are we about to get
So
arrested or fined or whatever?
So I had a bunch of places, all these different tapes and types of tape had to go. These had to go to edit bay and use this tape. And
Yeah.
so I was seeing all this firsthand. I'm just sitting there watching it, recording. And I'd have like 10 things recording at the same time, and I'm seeing all this for the first time. It was a very interesting, like there was a lot of stuff.
Those guys did some seriously
And there was a
crazy
lot of
shit.
stuff that never got released because that never got put on TV because we didn't get the release from main person in it, where blurring it didn't work,
Wild, man.
Or if we did something, one time we did a shoot where Knoxville was, I hope I'm not getting in trouble, bud. Knoxville was in a county jumpsuit, and he goes into a hardware store in Fairfax, and he's cuffed in front. If I remember correctly, he's cuffed in front, and he's doing all the usual shit, like taking a hacksaw, like gets a hacksaw and doing this with it. And then he's leaned over and he's got bolt cutters and, just funny stuff. And
Yeah.
Spike Jonze is dressed up as like a European guy with a satchel with a bag in it. And another guy's following him around with the camera and his glasses. Anyways, he's got dirt on himself. He's a escaped convict.
Yeah.
Dude flips out, calls the cops. Back, there was payphones outside. So the first thing he
Have you
does,
ever seen one of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
the first thing he does is go out and get on the payphone like he's making a call, and a cop comes flying up, and it's a Bull Dyke one and hot shorts, and she slams into the curb. And it was back when we had the newspaper racks. They're
Sure.
probably still there with just variety in the Hollywood Examiner now, but
Yeah.
newspaper racks on the sidewalk, and she didn't put her car in park. And the thing,
Oh no.
she jumps out, gun drawn, and the thing just lurches up, and I don't remember if it hit what it hit, but it hit a few things and stopped. And they take him down. He's like, "It's just a joke. Like, we're just shooting it a joke."
It's just a prank, bro.
Dude, this was like before we had even released episode 1. Wow. So it turns out the owner of the hardware shop, which was on Fairfax, was this tiny little thing,
Yeah.
had a heart condition,
Oh,
and was
no. Come
extremely
on.
angry.
Oh no.
I don't know what our budget was, but whatever the budget was, it wasn't enough to get him to sign. And we ended up paying him. We ended up paying him to settling to stop him from suing us.
It doesn't surprise me. They were doing crazy, crazy stuff. And it's not like now where there's a whole production team set up and shit. I mean, I know they did that as well, but like those prank kind of things.
No, that was on the
There's
fly.
there's no cameras out, so it's all shot really covert. And
All on mini DV.
is it really? God, man.
Or maybe it was regular DV, but it was just DV tape.
Yeah.
I saw on Steve-O's, I think it was his YouTube channel, he talks about that. And he had footage of all of it that he put up.
Oh, he did?
All these years later, yeah.
They talked. That's funny. It send me that. My boss got arrested for that because we were filming without a permit. We didn't know. Nobody knew that blood-borne pathogens, meaning piss, shit, jizz, any of those things could never be transferred on TV. So actual blood, actual piss, actual shit. These guys were getting after it.
Like
You
you're
know?
not allowed to show any of that on TV.
No.
And you guys are showing
No,
all
like we
of
were
it.
doing this one with leeches, where Knoxville was going to have a beard of leeches.
Oh my God.
We
bro.
ended up using it, but like the type of leech we had to get. Dude, he's saying the Emancipation Proclamation dressed up as Abe Lincoln with leeches on his
That's
face.
Oh my
disgusting,
God.
But it was so bad because we couldn't use like good leeches that were going to fuck him up. We had to use ones that barely drew any blood, and we had to do it laying down because standing up, they just fell off. You know what I mean? And I'm just sitting there like, we did all these crazy, we did a lot of crazy shit. But, you know, it just goes back to, I really liked that job. I worked at MTV for, I think, 4 years on and off, and a lot of them I did not like.
Yeah.
I finally get this one that I love, and I just get this wild spirit. Fucking, I'm going to open a skateboard shop. So
Yeah.
that all goes into that, how I got to where. And then once all these
Yeah.
parts really started moving and I got into a small shop, man, right place, right time.
Yeah.
So I went into 1,000 square foot unit, and within 6 months, I broke my lease and went into 4,000. Within 2 years, I bought 12,000.
And that's where you're currently at now.
Yeah, and then I also had a warehouse in Georgia where I was shipping. A lot of customers want stuff quick, so we basically had almost a mirror image of what I had here there in a rented metal building.
Oh, wow.
And one guy that just did fulfillment. So the invoice got sent over, he packed, shipped. That's all he did.
So he's got a bunch of parts stocked, ready to go there for that.
So like
for
when
that
our
part of
order
the
came,
country.
when our order came, we could literally just decipher what the quicker shipping route was.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of wholesale, so shops, mechanics can't usually afford to stock stuff.
And they can't wait a week to get their part.
Exactly. So, you know, I had done that. So there's been very, very rapid growth. And then
Yeah.
with the rise of the EPA and their mandates on enforcement of the Clean Air Act, I went from really big to shrunk back down. It's a very, very different world when you can't sell anything that defeats an emission.
Yeah.
component on a vehicle.
Yeah. Totally.
And, I mean, dude, it was the Wild West for a while. Like, I was selling like 1,000 units of just the tuner a month. And
Now you can't sell those.
not if anything's missing.
Yeah.
And most of us can't. You really can't do it out of the U.S. I don't know of anyone that's doing it out of the U.S. anymore because
Yeah.
when I got it in 2017, they weren't sending in FBI and ATF to assist, but they were after that. Wow. So you would have like diesel shop guys. It's just a mom and pop guy they call it deleted.
And you got FBI coming in.
Bro, tactical jacket. You know what I mean?
Unbelievable.
Completely out of line. And there's been a bunch of them.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, his name's Corey Willis. They made an example of him.
Wow.
He resisted pretty substantially, and man, he sold more than me. They got it for a lot of money.
Yeah.
But he took the fuck you route. Like, this is all, turns out he's right.
Yeah.
I didn't ever want to get in that fight.
Yeah.
But he didn't mind it. He's a tough little fucker. But he told him to fuck off from day one.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. And they ended up getting him. He's got a felony. He can't vote. He can't own a gun.
No shit. Wow.
Yeah. Hopefully, like, he's really worked the last few years to get with the people of Louisiana where he's from. And he's become close friends with, I believe it's his congressman, Clay Higgins. I think it's Clay Higgins from Louisiana, who's Republican. And I think there's a link there where I don't know if you get pardoned for that kind of stuff, but I could see somebody rational saying, wait a second, this guy sold diesel parts and he's got a felony?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's completely insane.
Yep.
And
Because
I have a feeling like in this type of administration that maybe if he can get far enough up the ladder that something might happen for him. But yeah, like there was people so he got a felony and he got a tremendous amount of money. It's public, but it was over $3 million he had to pay. Another friend of mine in North Carolina, $10 million flat. Wow. After like 9 years and millions of dollars in legal fees.
Wow.
And they were all Department of Justice cases. So
Easy.
yeah. So there's
movement now on that, right?
I believe
we were
so.
talking earlier.
So I just don't know what that movement actually means because when everybody thought in our industry, your industry, that there was going to be with the election of Trump a large lax in enforcement. What we ended up with was a substantially much more enforcement because, don't quote me, pulling EPA funding the way they did forced boots on the ground. And what's the first people they go after in the Clean Air Act? The car.
Right,
Automotive.
of course.
They went after Camaros, Mustangs, and diesels.
Really?
And diesels are really easy because you can see the smoke.
Yeah.
And Camaros and Mustangs, you can hear them.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, I'm sure Ricers too, but those were like the bangers. They went after right off the rip. So everybody thinks, oh, Trump's getting elected, and I thought, oh, you know, there may not be as much of a problem now.
But so far, it's worse.
So all that,
Interesting.
it certainly was, and I don't know about this time, but he focused all oil and gas, big stuff.
Yeah.
Like EPA stopped focusing on that, and we're not giving you any money anymore. If you want money, go make it yourself. Well, guess how you make it?
Fine people, right?
Fines.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it went everywhere from streams and fresh water to
Emissions.
big time.
I'm hoping that, because there's a lot of talk right now that I've heard about the Fed coming down on California, because California's emission policies are more stringent than, that's why we're, one
ours.
out of 50 where we're screwed for anything we want to do cool
The
to
Fed
cars.
always follows CARB. CARB does all the homework and all the lead work, and the 50 state emission almost always follows CARB's lead, and the Fed funds CARB to do it.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So
But now isn't there pressure from the Fed on California to lighten their emissions so that we could potentially I mean, I could be wrong on this, but then it would give us the ability to do cool shit again without having to be worried.
I believe
without having to pay a guy
some
to
extent,
smog your car.
EV mandate.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get rid of smogs.
I don't think they're going to get rid of smog, but I think
But if they could lower
if we could lower the emissions to where, or at least like I told you before we started shooting with my friend Chris Ashton, Ruffian Cars, and he was able to prove that the LS he put in a Miata was more smog friendly than the Miata stock motor that was in there. They don't care. They have all their rules. It's like, well, if you really actually give a shit about the environment like they want to portray it to us, then why would you be upset about something that's being more emission friendly, but there's no cash in that for them?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it looks like they're definitely going to take issue with the EV mandate. And as far as I know, everything attached to something the federal government doesn't want California to do is going to be a funding issue for California.
Yeah.
Don't want to do it? We're not giving you money.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
like us getting $40 billion for the wildfires. I don't remember what the concessions Newsom had to make, but they're legitimately large concessions.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
the feds don't want the state doing. Like, I don't know if it's sanctuary stuff, and I don't really want to get political, but I know there are things attached to that money
Yeah.
to stop. But I mean, just back to the EPA. Yesterday they said they're cutting 65%. Can you imagine? I mean, I've been to the office in San Francisco multiple times for meetings. Bro, that's like the nicest law firm you have ever been in.
Really?
In like 10 stories.
Really?
Yeah. Google it. Josh.
Good use of
Show
our
that
tax
building.
dollars.
Bro.
So this
And I'm
is
just in
this
fear.
is the EPA in San Francisco.
Yeah. And it's in downtown, bro.
Oh, I'm curious to see this one.
The amount of, I don't know if there's inside photos, but it is, when you walk in, it's all glass and it's just level after, look.
Oh shit.
Wow.
I believe that's the Fed. I think that may be the federal building, but it looks just like, it's just.
Didn't you just go to the White House too?
I did.
You went to visit your buddy Joey B?
Dude,
You went to
sleepy
the White
times.
House?
I did.
They let this fucking guy in.
It was such a bummer. The tour is so lame. And then
So you just paid to do a tour?
then I saw, yeah.
I didn't
donate any money to that
fuck it,
guy.
I don't know with you. I don't know what you're getting invited
No,
to.
I didn't donate any money to that guy. You donate a bunch, you get invited to something.
Yeah.
My dad was donating to Trump, and he had it on an auto pay for like 10 grand.
Oh no.
And he forgot about it. He's like, I donated an extra like 180 grand.
Oh my God.
Anyway, he didn't regret it. No, he's super happy. But you go to these places, and the amount of money it takes to run this operation.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I got like an enforcement officer. They show up with badges, and they really like, I feel like they take advantage of people.
Yeah.
They don't come in and just say, hey, we believe you're violating this act. You know, here's how it's going to go. They don't walk you through it. They go in there and they try to be all nice, but, oh, we just want to look around. We just want to take some pictures. And then, oh, by the way, and this is as they're walking out, I have this flash drive. Do you mind if I stick it in your accounting computer and take a copy of your books? Can you imagine how many people they've got because they're afraid? I told them absolutely not, and to get lost.
I don't blame you. I would too.
Yeah, can you? I've heard of people that just let them do it.
Because I'm sure you don't know any better. It's the federal government. You don't want to tell them no.
I was in the forefront of it, so lots of people would either get my number or just call me while it's happening, or after the fact. And
Wild.
one time a guy was like, "Yeah, I already let him do that." I'm like, "Dude, then call me. You're too late, dude. It's over." Wow. I hope you
And
kept.
now they have
it.
access to all their books. Holy shit, man.
Yeah. I just think that was pretty crappy. It's almost like a trap. It's like, dude, these people, you haven't offered them to get a lawyer, because it's not an actual police. You know, it's not the FBI. They don't have to offer. You know, you're not being charged with anything, but you're incriminating yourself.
So
Pretty crappy.
Help me out, because I don't know the diesel world well at all, other than it blows a lot of black smoke. But I remember when I was a kid hearing that diesel was more emission friendly because a good portion of what emits out of the exhaust falls to the ground.
It's 100% correct. The problem is it's a carcinogen.
Ah,
The soot's a carcinogen. Now, you're going to laugh, but my father builds the emissions monitors that go on smokestacks on oil refineries and power plants.
really?
So my dad was able to explain all of this easy. He said, yeah, your soot does fall to the ground because it's heavier than air. It does not go into the atmosphere, but it's a proven carcinogen. Now, you would have to layer the earth with probably a foot of it to make it cancerous.
To where we're actually breathing it or it's
I
getting
think
into
if
our...
you were in a dyno room with something that blew a ton of black smoke every day for a long time, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a money grab.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've learned enough. I mean, anyone and that pays even the mildest amount of attention to politics, it typically has been. I think it's why it's such a, I don't know, I find it to be a refreshing time right now, given that we have a new administration where, I mean, obviously the advisor, yeah, he's the wealthiest fucking guy in the world, so he probably doesn't need to do anything corrupt to grab money.
No, he definitely doesn't. And there's no way that guy's doing anything corrupt.
I agree. Well, I laugh too when people go, well, no, he's going to have all your personal information. You ever use PayPal? Yep. Well, guess what? He's already got your information.
Yeah, like 80% of U.S. citizens over 18 have used it.
Right. Seriously, man. All right, a couple of other questions, and then we'll wrap it. I know you got to get back to work. But back to car stuff specifically, Kyle got out of you what your first car when you started making money, you buy the 997 Turbo.
Yeah.
Tiptronic.
So I'm glad we made it back there. So I didn't know a tip was a pile of shit.
Yeah.
But me being me, I went straight to turbos, E85, bigger turbos, E85, exhaust, injectors, blah, blah, blah. And then if the tip was nice enough to make the 1-2 shift, it scared the shit.
Let's call it something other than tip. The tip.
Why is that? Are you sensitive to that?
He's getting a little
I know
excited
I know
over
you
here.
like the tip.
Well,
but-
just put your hand down there and push hard.
All right. Okay, I'll keep it tucked.
So keep it at 6, bub.
All right.
So if it wanted to make the 1-2 shift, it was crazy. I think it made like 750 wheel, something like that.
Shit.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
It was a lot of power. It was
Yeah.
the first thing I was ever in that was light and high horsepower. I had already had a 1,000 horsepower truck, diesel truck, but it weighed 8,000.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It ran
Sure.
11s.
Now you got a 3,000, 3,200 pound car, whatever it is.
Yeah, they were pretty light, 34 maybe max, but
Yeah.
it wasn't heavy, and it was. I would take people for rides, and if it made the shift, people were like, "Whoa, I'm good." It's that G-force. It was G's. It was the first thing I ever had that was real, legit G's.
Sure. Plus,
And
those
then-
are all-wheel drive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm starting to make money where I could buy a $50,000 car like that day type of thing. And I had been real conservative with my money up until then. And then once I realized that was a piece of shit, I just went and got just basically a brand new turbo after that. So I was pretty... And
Same
then,
generation, the 997 or now 991?
I got a 2018
Yeah.
in 2018,
Oh,
2017.
rad.
So I had that a couple years.
Stick.
Hell no. It was PDK.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really cheap investment for 50 grand to figure out if that was even a car I would like. I've never been any car guy.
What'd you sell it for?
70.
So you made.
I still probably lost because I put a ton of money into it. But
Yeah.
I cleaned house. That's one of the small victories on my road of vehicle owning and resale value. But I knew by then, after a year and a half or so, I got a 2017 Porsche in 2017. An old man had bought it, or his wife bought it for him for his birthday. He couldn't handle it. It had 950 miles on it or something. It was
Brand new car.
I can't believe anyone had ever been in it. You wouldn't think anyone had ever been in it.
Wow.
And the guy was like 80.
Yeah.
So tuned, and you just start going through all that. Started with tuning and exhaust, and then it ran 1020s in the quarter mile on a tune. with exhaust. And then I went into like the deep 9s. Then I put a built motor in it. Then it ran 8s.
Wow, you've been that fast in a quarter. You've been down in the 8s.
Yeah, I ran 890.
All he has to do is
Holy
put his foot to
shit.
the floor. It's not like he's doing anything.
Yeah. You got to not pass out.
So yeah, I had a Porsche. And once I did that, once I ran 890, I was kind of like, I don't really care that much about this, but I kind of want to try like driving around a track. I had been take my kids to K1 speed.
Go-kart.
Yeah. Dude, that was so fun.
Yeah.
And the track always looked fun. My father-in-law goes to the track. So I was like, I didn't know a turbo is not like a track car.
Right.
Especially
Definitely
with,
not.
especially with the 1,000.
Where'd you go,
tire.
Willow? Willow
Definitely
Springs?
not.
Yeah.
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 Dude, I was doing like a $175 down the back straight.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But it wouldn't turn for its life. So like
Yeah.
I did Big Willow, then I did Button Willow, then I went back to Big Willow, and I was chewing through brakes, destroying tires, and I had given it a GT2 alignment someone told me to do. And what I was finding was I was putting like 10 car lengths on track prep GT3s, and then in the turns, they were right on me
just
again.
eating you.
Yeah.
And they weren't working nearly as hard as I was.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm just
Sure.
like dominating them down the backstretch.
Sure.
The second time at Willow, I really started getting to meet people and talk to people and kind of get a feel for what I'm getting myself into here.
Yeah.
And I realized real quick that turbo was not the car.
Yeah.
Driving
yeah,
on the track
definitely
is
not.
so different than driving on the street.
And I thought I knew.
You
How
think,
to-
especially if you go
Bro.
to the canyons, you're like, oh, I got this. I'm going to be a beast at the track. And it's so different.
Luckily, I'm old enough not to go in thinking I'm a swinging dick at anything. So I went in just whatever.
Yeah.
But I learned really fast. And Porsche Owners Club made me go with an instructor the first 2 sessions.
That's cool.
Yeah, 100%.
That's actually really
I'm
cool.
so
they do
glad they
that.
did.
Yeah.
And the first thing I learned about driving around the track was you hit the brakes 3 times as hard as you think you should.
Yes.
I did not know.
Yes.
That's like, and I'm slamming on the brakes. She's like, you know what I mean? Hand signs like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I learned
yeah.
really fast.
Yeah.
So then, I ran that car for a little while, but it was just a car that was built to just go beat out on highways. I think that car would do like 230 or something like that.
What's the fastest you've gone?
195, I think, in my R8, but that was literally like in
4
6
seconds. I was
6 or
going to
7
say.
seconds.
Yeah.
6 seconds.
Yeah, that car's built. Friend of mine with the exact same build at the track when it hooks, it'll run like a 740 at like 195.
That's how long you last, huh?
Depends, dude.
6, 7 seconds.
You ever
and
take
you're
Viagra?
bust. I don't need to.
I don't need to either.
Oh. Oh.
You don't sport fuck then.
Okay. You have the socks with the grip on the bottom of them.
I
so
got
you
the
can
Kung Fu grip right here,
Yeah.
Bob.
Okay, I got you.
If you knew anything about sport fucking, you would get Viagra. I can tell you.
All right.
It changes the game.
Okay.
Dude, I had these kids that were roommates when I owned a house when I was like 24. My buddy's younger brother moved in, and him and his buddies were always over, and they were probably 18, 19 at the time.
And they're taking Viagra?
Fuck yeah, dude.
I'm gonna pop a Viagra and just start editing videos.
And they got, that's not what you want to do.
No?
No, you want to fuck.
Oh, okay.
Jesus, what the fuck you want to take that for, dude?
I'll get the Rhino pill at the gas station. The Rhino one
Those
is
dick
good,
pills
right?
aren't the same.
No. How about a Reliable Richie?
Reliable Richard's a good pill.
What is it? I haven't seen it.
Oh, this is
It's
Sean's
like an
favorite.
all-natural version of the same thing.
Yeah, those Indian style dick pill.
What kind of Indian? Red dot or
Good
feathers?
stuff.
Red dot.
Red dot. Wait.
I've got the bomb.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
That's for you, Sean. My friend's a dot, and we'll be somewhere, and I'll be like, drop it, bro.
Yeah.
He'll be like, I've got the bomb. No, but you will see. It's a thing. I didn't believe it either.
But if I take it, am I gonna fuck my regular pattern up or no?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, I mean, if you go ham on it, sure.
All right.
But, dude, just go have a sport fuck. I'm telling you. If you want to have a sporty night,
You know what I do?
and don't take 100 milligrams, take like 50. Just take half. You don't need, you'll
Okay.
get hot and everything.
If
Trust
I want to
me.
have a sport fuck, I just eat oysters. You ever heard of that?
No, I don't like
It's an
oysters.
Aphrodite. You don't like oysters?
He doesn't like seafood. Or he doesn't like Is it
I like
all
fish.
seafood or shell
I don't.
shell
Yeah, I
based
don't
stuff,
like.
right?
Yeah, I eat sashimi and stuff, but yeah, I don't like lobster. I'll eat lobster, it's whatever, but
Yeah.
I don't really. I wouldn't waste my money or anybody else's
It's so
efforts.
funny, dude. I let like one of my favorite things in the world.
parents are
I don't know if it's the
seafood
lobster
connoisseur.
or if it's the butter you dip it in, but goddamn, the combination of that lobster going into that butter, that's one of the best flavors ever, I think.
My parents are seafood connoisseurs. We used to go to Hawaii pretty much just for the fish.
Wow.
Wow.
I just don't. A good
Well,
night.
you don't
Anything.
like food anyway. You talk about
I'm not a
going home.
foodie.
I'm going home to make meatloaf. I'm gonna go to Taco Bell.
I'm definitely not going to Taco Bell unless I'm sick or something. But I don't eat any fast food.
Well, oysters make you horny. When I worked in the kitchen, we'd always like if a guy walked in with a hot chick, me and my friend would look at each other and be like,
Yeah,
"Let's
but
send him some oysters."
getting horny, dude. Dick pills don't make you horny, bro.
They just make you hard.
Fuck, dude. It just. I don't know how much more I got to explain. Just take one and go sport fuck.
Just
Okay.
go see what it's about.
Yeah.
Let me borrow your socks with the Velcro on the bottom though to really grip the ground.
Get some good grip.
This fucking guy. I'll get you some knee pads for your rug burns too.
Fucker. Okay, you got me.
Anyway.
So back to the car stuff.
Yeah.
I know you want to talk boners.
Yeah, he's really into
All good.
boners right now.
But
So I
so
the
you've got
track
money
car,
though to buy obviously you buy cool shit.
anything big, not like your brother, but
So
pretty
two-
much anything I want.
Two questions. I know, totally, dude. Two questions. What's a car that's maybe like slightly out of your price range that you're eyeing up? Is there such a thing, or are you at the
and
point?
you know what it is?
What?
It's that I forget what gen it was, but that Ford GT, the
Yeah.
2005,
The
2006.
0506. Yeah.
I could have bought one for like 150 grand back
God,
in
are you
like
kicking
missed out.
yourself over that?
it was that or get a Porsche. And I bought a Porsche.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back
Well,
then, I mean, maybe it was 2012, 2013. Yeah, they were like 150 grand for one of those things,
Yeah.
which was a lot back then.
You can
Yeah,
cop one of
for
those,
sure.
bro. You can go get one.
I could, but I probably couldn't keep everything else I own.
How many cars do you have?
A lot. I just finishing my
Name 'em. So
GT3
you got-
right now.
Oh, the Cup GT3. You
This
got.
is the track car.
Yeah.
You got a GT2 RS. You got the R8. You
Yeah.
got the regular Street Raptor. You got the twin turbo Raptor. That's
Yeah.
5. What
Then
am I
I've-
missing?
Then I've got that. I've got 2 Super Duties.
You got the mom Audi.
No, I sold
soccer
it.
mom. Oh, okay.
I sold it.
All right.
I sold it and got my wife a new Cayenne with it.
Cool.
I think that's it. And then a boat. It's not really. And I just got an Escalade.
V.
You got an Escalade?
No.
Oh.
No, I just got a 6.2 because my wife wants something to go to Disneyland in.
Why no G wagon, bro?
Doesn't have a third row.
Doesn't have a third row.
Would have been handled a long time ago if it had a third row.
Escalades are cool though.
It's
you didn't get
fine.
the V.
No, because I'm never going to
surprised.
drive it.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I just made sure I was looking at Denali's, and the Denali with the 6.2 is selling for the same price as an Escalade. Escalades fucking lose so much value.
Oh, I'll bet.
I had bought my wife a brand new one. It was called a Platinum. It was like a 2019, my ex-wife, sorry. I had just bought it for her. It was like 102 or 104. A year into our divorce or 6 months into our divorce, her lawyer tells her that I probably have a GPS on it. And even though I left her and certainly didn't want to know where she was.
Yeah.
But she got this big idea that she was going to get a new car. I'm like, fine, whatever, trade it in. But it's in my name, so they've got to sell it to me, or they've got to buy it from me.
Yeah.
And I don't think the car had 8,000 miles on it. I think they gave me 65
I
for
was
it.
going to say, what'd they give you, 60?
Almost $40,000 loss
Yeah.
in under a year.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm looking at Denali's because my wife has 2 kids and I have 2 kids, and going to the airport, you need either a driver or her Cayenne ain't going to do it.
For sure.
So we were taking Sprinter vans and shit.
Yeah.
And she loves Disneyland, so she likes to take her kids. My kid, I usually get out of it, but sometimes I don't. But it's always, in her Cayenne, it's just too small for that.
Yeah, totally.
So she was going to buy a Tahoe. I'm like, never mind. I'll just go get us something. I'm not going to let you buy that piece of shit. And then I look at Denali's, and the Escalade's almost the same price, maybe a few grand more for a 2020 Escalade over a 2020 Denali. So I got that. I thought about the V. I just won't drive it.
Yeah.
well, if you're not going to
And
drive
it's
it.
going to live outside. I don't want a car of that value living in front of my house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the other thing, Kyle. I could go cop other cars. I got nowhere to put that shit.
Keep it here.
Keep them here.
If you were down the street,
We'll get a rotation.
We
Well,
are.
you don't have to worry
We'll
about
bring
that
it to
though.
you,
We'll
bro.
get it. We'll get an exercise
I'll buy a
rotation
flatbed
going
and we'll
on.
keep it out front.
Yeah.
You ain't fucking driving it.
Come on, bro.
Then fuck it, you can't keep them here.
I told you could borrow my GT2, and you
I
said no.
know.
When did he say? He didn't say no.
Yeah, he did.
You
I
did?
said I wouldn't ask him to do that.
I said
That's an investment
I said
grade
you're not
car.
allowed. It is, and that's why I bought it. But I did drive it yesterday and today.
Great
Sick
car, isn't
fucking
it?
car.
Isn't that a great car?
I tuned it, and it is nasty.
Yeah. I mean, they're nasty stock. They're already what 700.
Crank, yeah. Now mine's like 760 wheel.
Wow. I'll come take it,
It's
bro.
another one, all-wheel drive.
I
The
offered it to him.
accelerations.
Not me.
Yeah, not
Well,
you.
do you want to do a video with me?
No, not. I will do a video with you all day long, but I am not offering it to you.
Okay, me and Josh are gonna come up and
Because he
Good
trusts.
on that.
He said, "I can't drive it over 100 miles."
yeah, we don't need to.
He
I
didn't
did buy
say.
this.
He didn't say I can't drive it over 100 miles per hour.
Oh, you could do that all you want.
Yeah.
You're a pussy. I don't have to worry.
You're not worried about it.
I know that car's going to get driven like a granny. But I did
Very true.
specifically buy that car as an investment.
Yeah.
They are supposedly, I'm trying to get allocation, but they're not even in the system for a 2026 GT2. And there's a couple caveats to it. A, it probably still isn't going to happen. And B, it's probably going to be hybrid.
Ooh,
So having the last all motor GT2,
Big deal.
smart.
dude, I was gonna buy one in like 2018 of the old gen. It was 430 or 440. Now that car's 750 all day.
Yeah.
long.
Wow.
Have you seen those? The OG GT2s.
Oh, of course.
The-
We just saw one the other day. Remember
The
the
2009?
997?
Yeah.
Yep.
What at
yep.
Frankie's place?
Yeah.
yeah, they are in the 700s.
Yeah.
Depending on how they're optioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I figured I could buy this. I bought it with 6,000 miles on it. I got a pretty smoking deal. Bought
much?
it from Long Island. Fucking telling you.
Well, I'm just trying to get an idea because
So the one just like it sold on
bro.
You know what's funny? If I asked him that, he probably would have given me an answer. But he just really likes to. He likes to make
so-
sure
It's
It's the
you're
way he
properly
says it,
beaten
though. Kyle
on.
just interrupts and be like, "How much?" Doesn't even let you
One
finish
just
the
like it
sentence.
sold for like 425 on Bring a Trailer.
Okay, that's a good. Wait, hold on. That's
Yeah.
not what you paid though.
Fuck no, I bought it as an investment.
So you got it for less.
I got it for less.
Okay, less than 425. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mid threes. I got a great deal.
that's
on
a
it.
good deal.
I looked for a while.
That's why I was asking.
yeah, I
Mike.
looked for a while. First of all, I don't think
And you got the right color too, by the way.
I think white's the least desirable and silver's the second.
You know what's so funny about that car? How
I
they-
wanted chalk white, man, but the only one chalk white I could find, fucking red interior.
What's wrong with that?
You can't catch me dead in a red interior.
Why?
Ever.
His car's full fucking.
You don't like
matter.
red interiors?
Nope. Ever.
What?
I don't hate anybody else's. I will never,
Yeah.
ever own a car with a red interior.
I hear you. I get it.
What do you? I hear you.
No,
for?
I'm saying I hear it because it's
I
not
have
him.
my own
I'm
opinion.
just agreeing in the sense that it's not his thing. Personally, red interiors, fucking love them.
Yeah, I've never-
actually
dude.
love them. Especially
Dude,
put a
like-
red interior on a black car
Ooh,
like
it's like a
Chris's
Louis V
Vicious.
red bottom shoe.
Dude,
my
so good.
My GT3 that I'm building now has red seat belts. That's the next change. They're $700 a belt though, and I can only get a driver's side, so I'm waiting.
Wow.
But I'm gonna ditch those things.
Well, I guess
Wow.
he wears DC shoes, so his taste goes out the window there.
Who does?
You. Well, not right now. You're not, but I usually
I don't
usually
own a
see you-
pair of DCs.
It's DC or Etnies, and you got the big puffer.
You got the
fucking
wrong
fla-
person. I only own Jordan 1 lows and dunks.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't know,
what?
Josh. Can you
What
back
was
me
the
up on
last
this? Because
one?
I've seen
Dunks.
Mike wear some goofy. I'm right? I've seen Mike wear
What
some,
shoes? Dunks?
Either the.
I only own dunks.
No, I swear the first time we saw you had like he said like puffy ass tongues like on your shoes.
No,
wait.
there's
Are you
certain-
talking about tongues like
yeah,
this?
you got
tongues
the
like
tongues
Sean.
right here.
Like
no,
these
it
right
depends.
here?
It depends on
No,
the,
worse than this. He got
it depends on what version of dunk it is. Like the reverse pandas have really thin. I have like 40 pairs of dunks.
No, I've seen you in some Etnies or DC shoes.
Wrong. Don't own any.
All right.
No, I literally only own dunks or Jordan 1s.
Okay. I'm gonna
Really?
look at your shoes every time I see you from now on.
You
I'll be
should.
like,
Hey, just go back
Look
to the
at everything.
shoots.
Yeah, just go back
Go
and
back
look.
to our video and look.
okay.
I bet you, how much money you got? Like to you as a whole. Whatever you have, I'll bet you.
That you don't have some funky ass shoes with the big tongues.
That I don't own any Etnies or any skate brand shoe. I got married in a pair of tan Vans. That's about the last time I
Did you
wore
really?
skate brand shoes.
Wow.
Yeah, on the beach. And that's what my wife wanted me to wear.
Wow.
Yeah, so everything I have is Dunks and Jordan 1s. It's the only. Oh, I have a pair of dope Puma Cords. I love them, but they don't have fat tongues. A couple of the Dunks, though, do. It's like the versions.
Oh, okay.
Man, I feel so out of it. I don't even know what the hell dunks
He's
are.
thinking we're like
Yeah,
actually
they're-
dunking a basketball.
Is that the actual name
Yeah,
of the
Nike Dunks,
shoe?
yeah.
Dunk?
Nike
Yeah.
Dunk, SB
Oh,
Dunk.
it's Nike.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Mike takes big dunks.
Like this is a Dunk.
Got it.
But certain versions of Dunks have different tongues on them.
Can we talk about your tattoos for a second?
I want to talk about yours and
Well,
how
actually,
long you've ever
if you-
sat for one sitting.
If you've ever seen, I actually have an infection on mine right now. This is the first tattoo I've had that is not healing properly.
I had one that recently that did that.
So when did you get all of these? Did you have like little tattoos first and then?
I was, I waited till I was 24, 25 to get tattooed. I wanted to be, I watched my friends get fucking leprechauns and four-leaf clovers and dumbass shit, Bob Marley and dumb shit on them.
This is a cover up. I actually really like this tattoo, but what's under here is possibly one of the worst tattoos ever given to a human
What was
being.
it?
a massive.
And when was it?
Okay, now this is like probably 1989. I'm living on Highland in Hollywood. Me and my pal used to skate down into Hollywood and, you know, go do stupid shit. And we got really looped one night. Ended up at Hollywood Tattoo, and he wants to get a tattoo. He's put a lot of thought into this. Come on, dude, get a tattoo with me. Yeah, I'll get a tattoo. Let's do it. All fucked up. What are you going to get? I don't know. I'll figure it out by the time we get there. I had this genius creative idea on the way to the tattoo shop to get a guitar that turned into a snake. It was, now, not only was the idea bad, but the execution of it was bad. Dude, I would not let this sleeve go up at all to where you could actually see that I had a tattoo here because I was so embarrassed about it. It's the worst thing ever getting it. Well, not the worst thing
So,
ever, but it sucks having a
My
tattoo
first
that you
tattoo is
don't
covered.
like.
Really?
Because it was
I let
shit.
the guy, dude, I had a good idea, and I think to this day it would have been a good idea
Yeah.
that I wanted. I found like a Google image, or some whatever search engine there was back then. This is probably 2003,
Yeah.
and I wanted like a really old version of the Taurus symbol because I'm born in May.
Yeah.
And there was a really dope one where it's like a crooked circle and then a horn. I don't remember if the circle was fine, but the horns were crooked, and I don't remember even where it was from. You know,
And
it was,
the guy
it was
just did a shit job.
no. He fucking talked me into some complete other bullshit.
Oh, no. So did you do the four-leaf clover?
I will send it to Josh, and he can post this up because I have the before and after.
Okay.
The same asshole that did it did my cover up 20 years later.
Wow,
No
that's a
shit.
great
We're
story.
like almost best friends.
That's cool.
So
Is that the guy who did all the other?
most of it? Yeah.
This is all like COVID time. You did a bunch
So I
of
was
your
already
work.
I was already to here and pretty much a lot of my body except my chest. Almost my entire back, my chest, most of my legs was already done. But when COVID happened, dude's like, yo, man, I could be, he works at San Clemente Tattoo. He's like, yo, man, I could be there. Map says 48 minutes.
But because he can't tattoo you at the shop.
Right. So he says health department has a shutdown. And it wasn't only that, it was people were afraid. So he's
Yeah.
like, even if I
Yeah.
want to sneak people in, nobody wants to come get tattooed anyways.
Yeah,
So we've always
understandable.
had this, which was probably good for my body and my wallet. We're always very far away. And I trusted him, and like I never got a tattoo from him that we didn't already agree upon before we even met up. There was
Yeah.
never, other than like getting my wife's initials on my ass, and I have morally bankrupt tattoo above my butt crack.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
You need to get one on your under your belly button that says needs Viagra and point down.
Don't need it, baby. Didn't use it last night.
The one I'm curious about, because I know it's coming up soon here, you're taking the R8 to go find out what the 60, is it 60 to 120? What's the?
No, so TX2K.
That's right, TX2K.
It's just a
yes.
roll race. Starts at 60 miles per hour. It should do.
And how long is the?
It's standard quarter mile.
So it is a quarter mile. So you hit the start line
60.
you both hit at 60 miles
Yeah,
an
yeah.
hour.
So you'll run a quarter mile and way quicker than like the
Sure.
drag time would be. It'll be like a 6, a low 6 or something like that. But it's the mile per hour. So the guy with that built my car went last year, and not even with the wick turned all the way up, went 205, and he's like, dude, don't have any desire to go faster than that in that short amount of time.
Wow.
Do they give you, there's got to be a fair amount of runoff on
It's
that.
a standard drag strip.
Standard drag strip?
Yeah, and he said our fucking brakes are fine. No parachute needed. I'll have my chute in case I get into some shit.
Yeah, but Sean, you start farther back. You start.
No,
You
I
hit the
get
line
that.
at
I
60.
get that part. I was more concerned about the runoff though. That you're up over 200 miles an hour and you're
Yeah,
not
but
pulling a
there's
chute.
top fuel dragsters going through there at 350. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but they
but
pull
they're
their
pulling
chutes.
the fucking chute.
Yeah,
too.
we all have shoes.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Is that mandatory?
No. But he told me last year, he was like, I was nervous for him. He's like, dude, I'm going to go over 200 for sure.
Yeah.
On a
Do you
drag
think
strip.
you'll go over 200?
My car will go like 210. But he worked his way there. He did like 195, 198.
Your car will do more than 210, not in a quarter mile, but like,
My car will do in the eighth mile or in the half mile, it should do like 240.
wow, that's so crazy.
235.
Dude.
It's so fast.
I asked because a guy with a car like mine went and did like 215, and I said, "What should mine do?" And tuner's like, proper conditions, easy 235.
Wow.
If
Hardcore.
all things right without splitting the block during the pass, which I could easily do. Even with built motors, they like to.
They can still go.
Over 2,300. That's why, even though I made that dick swinging number, the car, they didn't even give me the car back with that tune in it.
Because you're if you crack it open, you're what 2,500, right?
Yeah. So they gave me that number, and literally that tune dissolved after the fact. That's
Yeah.
like seeing what it can do, what those turbos are capable of.
Sure.
Probably even had a little more in it, but that was like, okay, I'm going to give you this, and then you don't get to keep it.
Yeah.
The biggest tune I have in it, I think, made like 2,260. They wanted under 2,300 because the factory blocks are cracking.
And your tires have a rating to go up to over 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're drag radials.
Yeah.
The fronts are Toyo 888s, and the rears are like Mickey Thompson, some drag radial.
Yeah.
And I have a smaller rear wheel. I think my
So you
rear
get
is
the
an
bigger
18.
side profile. Yeah.
My rear is an 18, so everything's changed over. The rotor, the caliper,
Yeah.
everything's changed.
And when is this?
It's in 2 weeks, March 13th.
Really?
Yeah, but the problem I have right now is, will I have my Motec back in time?
Oh shit. dude.
Or it's 15 grand, and like used Motecs, you don't really sell one unless someone's in a pinch. You'll never sell it.
Yeah. So
Everybody wants a brand new license to them.
So
You know what I mean?
would you actually consider? Okay, it's not going to be back in time. Buy a brand new one. Spend the
No.
install. Yeah. So you'll just wait till next year or something.
I know, I will for sure. And
Yeah.
then it's the universe speaking.
Yeah, something could happen when you go out
Right.
there. you
Last year, the broke the trans like 3 weeks before, and that was that. I missed. So
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see. He said that Motecs in Australia, I guess. So he is waiting for tracking for it coming back.
Wow.
But
Crazy.
yeah, I'm not going to go like force it.
Yeah.
I am not going to force it.
But if it all lines up, you're going.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'll go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hardcore, dude. That's
Yeah, and
That'll be fun to
wanna
talk
meet
to
a
you
lot of the people.
afterwards and
I want to
hear
meet a
about
lot
it.
of the people that I talk to. You know, I
Yeah.
talk to a lot of these other through Instagram and stuff. They all once you it feels like once I'd made some big power numbers, like I got people.
You got new friends.
with that have similar things.
yeah.
And I want to go meet them.
Yeah.
I want to go see how it's all done. I want to see how like these kind of pro teams like Underground Racing. I'm sure you're familiar with them.
Sure.
Like my buddy's got an underground car and he pays for full support.
Yeah.
They tell him where to have the car shipped and it's going to be at a dock. And when the truck comes into Dallas, it'll be picked up. And when he arrives, everything's prepped and ready. It's
Will
on
you have any
jacks.
team with you at all?
Yeah.
Or will you
Yeah,
use
I'll be
support?
going with the guy that built my car.
Got it. So torquing wheels and all the stuff, all the basic smart shit. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll handle all that. He's got a stacker. He'll haul the car out there.
Where does that happen at?
It's in Dallas. I forget which track it is.
Okay.
I think it's in Ennis, Texas.
Okay.
But it's just a
I kind
They
of
did it in Houston forever, and then they killed Baytown and destroyed it. It got sold. And
Trying
I
to
think
go out there, Sean?
no. Well,
go
we have
next
that
year.
shoot on March 11th
11th,
anyway.
yeah.
Let's
so
go
we're
next
not,
year. You will shit, dude.
Yeah, I would totally
will
go. I
shit.
won't get in a fucking car. You know what
No,
puss I
no.
am.
I'll go
but
with you.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
I can't?
because they're not
No.
letting you
You're
bring
not
a
getting ride
passenger.
along.
No way.
No, not on a drag strip.
No.
Fucking way. Maybe if you had like permission, but the dude that puts it on's a dick. I highly doubt he's going to let anyone do that.
Well, the liability.
around that is insane.
Massive. Yeah.
But-
you die, your parents sue.
So it is.
Oh, okay.
There's very diehard drag racers there. There's a lot of Mustangs, and are you familiar with it?
I went 2 years in a row,
Okay,
couple
so
years
you know.
back.
So
Yeah.
you-
Well,
I
you
think we
did.
talked. We
Yeah.
talked about. I think we talked about this.
Yeah,
So
there was
you know-
no Mustangs out there. I mean, not in the final run. Yeah.
Right, but
Yeah.
they're there.
Yeah, there's a lot of them on the
But-
streets.
So I think it's a blending of two cultures of holy shit, I flew my chopper here and got in my car and raced.
right.
Or I flew to the event in my own plane.
Right. Or
and
I
raced.
wrenched and
or there's
trailered.
fucking grinders who are just
Yeah.
It's but there's a lot.
And you're more
And
of like
you've been to spectate or no?
No, I've never been.
Got it. Okay.
I planned to go last year, it didn't work. This year I hope.
Yeah.
This year it's literally just a tracking. If I get tracking in the things
On the
there in the
Motec,
next
you're going.
if it's there in the next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the car's ready to rock. It's all
Yeah.
prepped, ready to go. Literally put the Motec in there, reflash it, and
Hopefully
go.
everything
Nothing
works
was wrong with the
properly.
car.
Right. Yep. Yep.
It was still driving fine. I was driving the car. It just kept flashing an oil sensor thing at me.
Freaking you out.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Sure.
So it kept flashing and for that kind of money, like, I think just modifications alone, I'm in at 360. For that kind of fucking money, I am not having anything
No.
that's not completely.
No, I get
100.
it.
Not in a car like that. So I just get it shipped anytime there's any little thing. I think it's $1,300 or $1,400 for an enclosed carrier. This dude's got his broker's license. Literally, just say have it picked up tomorrow. Someone shows up. He's got it a day later for $1,400.
Yeah.
The peace of mind of sending it to the person who built it that I trust.
Yep. Yep.
100%.
I hear you.
But yeah, I was doing some weird things. And I kept thinking it was a transmission because one input acting up over here makes something else do funky. I remember
Yeah.
it didn't want to make the 3/4 shift. And me and Kibby were out making hits in it. And I send a log to the tuner. He's like, you got a loose blow off line on the passenger. That's how accurate these Motecs are. He said,
Yeah.
I forget what line it was, but it was a vacuum line of some sort.
Tighten it up. Boom.
And now it made, you know what I mean? It's like the
Yeah.
weirdest thing. This happens over here. A, you can tell me exactly where it is.
Yeah.
B, why does that make the 3/4 shift hold?
Yeah.
C, it needs a little Viagra in the tank.
Fucking A, dude. If that doesn't have Viagra in the tank, I don't know what car fucking does.
Just like the
Seriously.
owner, it needs a little Viagra, just a little bit of help, and it's good
I
to
like
go.
how you're obsessed with it.
Yeah. I'm
I
thinking
know.
about
He keeps finding his way back to this
I know.
conversation, doesn't he?
I love how being transparent gets turned around on me.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I'm totally fine with it. But yeah, so I as long as I get the Motec back, it's definitely gonna go. And
Yeah.
I didn't want anything that happened like last time where I was beating on it a month before and I broke third gear
Yeah.
for the second time. And this time I was like, I'm not fucking with, as soon as they got my registration in, and I'm not fucking with this car, I'm just gonna keep driving it, baby it, go easy on it. That way it's ready to rock. And then a pin number so-and-so in the Motec.
Yeah.
Like, what are the chances, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I am looking forward to it because, like, there's dudes in Lambos there that are going to be going, like, almost 240.
Wow.
Well over 230.
Crazy.
Yeah, there's a Lambo
That's
and a
so
couple
fast,
GTRs.
man. That's
Yeah,
so
to do that
fast,
in the
dude.
span of a quarter mile.
So
the
fast.
accelerations. in
Yeah,
there.
seeing it
Yeah.
in person, it's a whole different ball game. And the sound that you hear, it's
I'm
great.
sure. Yeah.
You seen that dude Billy in his GTR?
I'm not sure.
He's the one that last 2 years is beating up on Underground's yellow Huracan.
Oh, when
that
Underground,
black GTR.
when the STO first came out, I was there when they debuted it.
Yeah.
And it did some crazy run. I forgot the number.
Yeah, they had a yellow one at least a couple of years ago. It's 3,000 horse, blah blah blah. Expected to smoke everybody, and some dude shows up at a GTR and ate them. But they're both doing like the Lambo did like 230 and the GTR did like 235 in the quarter mile. I mean, you're starting at 60 miles an hour or less, but still, that's
Still.
No, the GTR is a cheat
that's
code
a hard
car.
pull.
It's really a cheat code car.
I know.
You ever had one?
No,
Would you?
no,
You don't like JDM?
no.
That's a great car, though.
No, and it's bang for the buck.
I
by far.
love that car.
A friend of mine has one. I know a few people with them. Bang for the buck car.
Yeah.
Hell fucking yeah. And the dude
Yeah.
that built my car started with GTRs and then realized he could get the same in a Huracan or a R8.
You bang for a buck too, right?
More than a buck, but yes, I
He
do.
keeps trying to come back to it. With that, we're gonna call
Well,
this.
we're
We're gonna
done.
wrap it.
Everything
We're gonna
has
let
its
Mike.
price, Kyle.
We're gonna let Mike get back to work. I know you said you had a couple hours. I think we've already gone past that one, haven't we?
He's the boss, dude. He can leave
Yeah,
whenever he
man.
wants.
He is. You are.
He's
You
got to go
own
make
it.
a meatloaf and take Viagra, so let's wrap it up.
Man, this guy.
Right? Dude, thanks for doing this with us,
I'm
man.
really
I'm
glad.
stoked.
This
We'll
was
do
awesome.
it again. We got to do it again. Maybe next time we'll do it in an evening and have a cocktail or two.
I 100%
And-
will.
Yeah.
A Viagra.
Not with just us here, man.
Dude, this guy.
He won't stop. I'll
right.
stop.
No,
That's a
this
wrap.
was fun. I enjoyed it.
Thanks for doing it,
Thanks
dude.
for having me.
Yeah, man. Right on.